There we go. Yeah, what a crazy week. What a crazy week. Did you hear about the Trump thing? Trump got convicted of like 30 something counts of something.
Yeah, no shit. Okay, look, check it out, man. Like, I don't know. It's kind of fucked up because if you really stop and think of it, like, I don't know. In my personal opinion, if the guy were to run right now, I think he would actually win. So
Yeah, I know,
I
man.
think, it's one of those things where I think they just got him knowing the fact that, hey, if he runs, more than likely he's going to get reelected and they don't want him. So
Yeah,
it's
like
one
a
of those
gotcha
things where
moment.
yeah, dude, like I don't know. I seriously think they're just stopping him from going for it. But
Yeah.
dude, that honestly, it's like you mentioned, it's something that's going to be a historical thing.
Yep. Oh yeah. What is up? Welcome back to Sunday Night. You're here with the Average Boys Podcast. It's your boy Crispy, and I am joined here by my homie Nico. Nico, what is up, my dude?
Hey, what's up, man? It's been a while, dude. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I look forward to your show, bro.
Oh, thank you so much, man. And that's the thing. Like, I remember you telling me that you used to kind of like watch us, and you would chill out and just be a part of like the comment section. And one day, David told me he brought you on the show, and you did really good. And I was like, well, let's bring him on our show too. And you were like, yeah, dude, I like the way you guys go fucking nuts on stuff. And I was like, yo, we're gonna make it happen. And here you are, dude. You're just hanging out. Maybe we get a Nico show coming around soon. We were talking about this too.
Dude, I really hope so. Like I said, well, actually, you're in the inner circle. You're in the loop. Honestly, dude, like I really hope that goes through and everything goes well for it. And I appreciate your help trying to do the whole low designs and all that stuff. So thank you so much for that.
Yeah, we're gonna get it going, man. We'll hopefully get you on this your own show and help you get your own little corner of the internet, man.
Yes.
Yeah, but guys, I want to say thank you all for tuning in. It's again Sunday. We're here. We got some cool stuff that we're going to be talking about. It's been kind of like, I don't know, like iffy. It's been a little up and down when it comes to the news that's been coming out. Not a lot, but of course we got some stuff in the pipeline that'll be hitting us up soon. We got, of course, Alkalite's going to be coming up on Tuesday. Be dropping 2 episodes, and of course, the one thing that'll break the internet and break the movie industry in the world, in the comic book world, that we have Deadpool 3 coming up in a couple months. Like we got a lot of stuff that we'll be just talking about and sharing. So if you're out there in the comment section, we say thank you very much. Derpy already dropping us some information from when we put the update that we're gonna have a show. Derpy Entertainment already dropped some cool comments in the comment section at like 6. But good to have you guys on the show. Thank you, Derpy, for jumping in. He says there's been casting rumors for Booster Gold, and so far the 3 rumored choices are Dylan Playfair, Fionn Whitehead, and Patrick Schwarzenegger, the son. Oh, wow. Dang, that's crazy.
Dude.
What do you think? Hey, so let me ask you, Nico, like, are you
you
casually a fan of the DC Universe's Booster Gold Blue Beetle connection, or
look, I'm not gonna lie, man. I saw the Blue Beetle. In my personal opinion, it wasn't the greatest. It was something just to sit down, watch, and just kind of kill time. If I had to rate it, I'd probably give it maybe a 6, 6 out of 10. It wasn't the greatest, but it was okay. It was entertaining. Now, just out of curiosity, I don't mean to, the way I am. My attention span is everywhere. You mentioned Deadpool and Wolverine. Yeah. Real quick, I haven't talked to you since last Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
So just out of curiosity, what did you think of the popcorn bucket?
I mean, I kind of figured they were going to do some silly shit like that. Ryan Reynolds pulls no punches. You know what I mean? If there's anything that we know about Ryan Reynolds is that, everything's up for grabs when it comes to what he can write into his film. And he has such, I don't know, I wouldn't say deep pockets because he's not paying nobody for this, but he's got such deep pockets of people that are willing to like fuck around with him, like to do stupid things that, like, again, a guy in the Marvel universe referencing the DC universe, like just straight up Batman and Superman and calling people by names, like that is crazy. So the popcorn bucket making fun of Dune, I kind of felt was gonna be like probably one of the best things he was gonna do. Uh, but yeah, it was silly, man. It was silly. What about you? What did you think? You gonna buy it? Are you a buyer?
Oh, dude, I don't know, man. I honestly like the first the first thing you look at, obviously it's Wolverine's face, right? Then
Yep.
the big old mouth on it and everything. Dude, straight up, it looks like a straight sex toy. Like,
Oh yeah, yeah.
yeah,
I think that was the whole purpose. The purpose was
yeah,
it was
of course.
feeling
Yeah,
right.
of course. And then like on the little teaser trailer, it shows the fucking butter dripping down his face and everything. I'm like, "Oh my god, bro." Like you got to give it to this guy. Like he is playing his character so well.
Yeah.
Like Ryan Reynolds, like, okay, I know we're going to jump into it later cuz you told me about it, but him as Deadpool, it's phenomenal.
Perfect.
Like
Yeah, perfect.
that has to be the right casting for this character. Like
Yeah,
he
and what's
nails it
crazy is that
so
that
fucking
whole like
perfect.
typecast for him came from Blade Trinity when he played Hannibal King. I think his name
Yeah.
was Hannibal King in that movie. Of course, that character literally 100% was the Wade Wilson character from after that Wolverine Origins. And if I'm not mistaken, the director literally told him like he was born to play Deadpool. And he told him like on the set of Blade Trinity, like, yo, you need to look up who Wade Wilson is in Deadpool in the Marvel universe. And after that, it was just what would it be like a whole project for him, venturing to get out there and hopefully be casted as Deadpool in the Marvel universe. Of course,
Dude.
Origins, that fucking, that horrible version of him, of the Wade Wilson character. Wolverines, for what it's worth, was not one of the best Wolverine movies, but I guess it was fun. But yeah, it was just that's poetic, man. It's so poetic on the sense of like seeing all the success that's come to him from that character from then to now. Like so cool.
I don't I honestly, it's like I say, best fucking person to play that particular character. Like he fits it just right. Like they nailed it, bro. Like that is just hands down one of the best. Like it's kind of like, okay, Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. Well, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna bullshit you. The very first time I saw the original X-Men movie, I didn't really like it. I was like, this, come on, I can't believe this guy's a Wolverine. Like, and then little by little, as you start watching the whole franchise, it kind of it grows on you, man.
Oh
It
yeah.
it honestly does, And then little by little, you actually see him actually starting to believe and love his character that he's playing that role, and he takes it more serious. Then he builds up his physique so he could actually have that Wolverine body. You're
Oh
like,
yeah.
yeah, you know what? This guy's 100% in. He's legit going for this. Like he really cares about the character.
There's
You
a
know?
really great interview that they just dropped with him and Hugh Jackman, and they're interviewing each other.
Okay.
And you would expect there to be like a lot of like backwards and forwards banter to what they always do, but it's a real interview sit down, and they're like complimenting each other on the things that they've done. And he Ryan Reynolds was talking about on Wolverine Origins how Hugh Jackman like kind of like made it like his goal to treat everybody with this like utmost respect. So like it's a really great interview. If you guys get a chance, you guys should go check it out because it'll make you appreciate their relationship a lot better. And I mean, I think everyone knows this about Hugh Jackman by now, but he's very much like an actor through and through, like a very like a Belvedere, very theatrical, very like
Yeah.
he's like very dedicated to the craft.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie. I know he took dance lessons and all this
Yeah.
other stuff, and he also does his Broadway shows,
Mm-hmm.
which dude, I've heard really good reviews on it. Obviously, I've never gone to any of them, but dude, the ratings for his shows, they say
Yeah.
that it's fucking great.
Yeah.
Hey, did you read what Jeremy put though?
What's up? He says, oh yeah, what he put. So he says, Jeremy, my man, good to see you in the comment section, my dude. Says, I think the only problem is that I see him as Deadpool as every other character now. He's great. He's great, but I just see him as Wade in everything, regardless, even if it's like the same concept. Yeah, like every movie they put him in that's not an MCU movie, I'm gonna always see him as like Deadpool without the mask, Wade Wilson. But that's why it's so cool, is because he exuberates that character so well, so damn well, that it doesn't even need Like the sarcasm, the delivery, his joke delivery, like the punchline, like he just knows how to put it cinematically, like in every film. Even when you
Yeah.
get him like in a serious film, he still has it. So
And
like,
the fucking crazy part is, like, yes, he's a great actor. He really is. He's a good actor. But the fact that the dude's under a fucking mask, bro.
yeah.
Like, you don't see facial expressions. You don't see none of that shit. It's just, I don't know how to describe it. It's like another art form to it. But this
Well,
guy
yeah.
literally,
As a matter of fact, in that interview, Hugh Jackman says the exact same thing. He compliments Ryan Reynolds on his like clown aesthetic, like the way he wears his makeup and the way he does like his mannerisms. That it's very clown performance because you're under makeup all the time.
oh, okay,
Yeah.
I see where you're
And
coming
that's
from.
and if I'm not mistaken, like he even says like he appreciates Ryan Reynolds for studying like clown work. And Ryan Reynolds goes, "You hit it right on the button. Like that's what I study. I do a lot of like old school." And he starts naming like clown names from like years. Like I'm talking like the 60s and 70s kind of clowns from like
Well,
super famous circuses and stuff. What's up,
yeah,
Heels?
well, the reason I bring it up is because, like, when you see Wolverine, you see the intensity in his face. You see
Yeah.
when he's fucking pissed off, like, and you don't get that from Deadpool. Like, you don't see the intensity. You don't really see that. It's all
Body
body,
language.
like, exactly, body language. Like, and it's like you said, like when he does something funny or a little gesture, he kind of like does little head nods or like, like little movements with his shoulders and stuff like that.
Yeah,
But
good to see you,
it's
man.
it's fucking weird though, like because I guess it's true what you're saying, like what they said in that interview, I guess, that
Mhm.
it's like a whole nother art form because we don't see his face at all. It's under a mask, you
But
know.
let me ask you this, just because they didn't really touch base on this, and I think that's very important also, is the CG with the eyes. Like the
Oh, okay,
eyebrows
okay.
and the shape that change,
Yeah,
like that was very prominent like with Spider-Man also recently and not too long ago, where you get to see like the actual like eye shape change with him.
yeah.
And do you think that because me I 100% think it does. Do you feel like it helps the emotional exchange between the audience and the person?
Oh, of course it has to, man. Like it's like I said, like you have to see that gesture. You have to see that body language, the expressions. Like like if something scares them or something unexpected happens, you got to see that eye open. Like, oh shit, like
Yep.
or like the intensity, like maybe kind of like the little frown or little things like that. Because we see it in. It's something that you see in the comic books. Like you see those gestures, like when they do a frown, you see kind of like the triangle looking eyes.
Mhm.
And then, of course, like when they're scared or surprised, they get like those big bubble
The
eyes,
big
like,
real, yeah.
yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's something that we're, as comic book people, we're used to and we're accustomed to. And I think
Mhm.
it fits that universe perfect. It goes with it. So,
Very
we
much.
know exactly, we know exactly what they're trying to portray when they're doing certain scenes, like.
And how do you feel about Deadpool? Like, have you heard anything recently for Deadpool 3, like with the cameos or anything like that?
No, honestly, I'm not gonna lie, man. I try and keep away from it because I don't want to get too many spoilers. Like,
Yeah.
it's like there's certain movies where they show you a trailer and they show you all the best fucking parts of the movie, and you're like, what's the point of watching it now? Like, I kind of
I
already
don't know,
saw the
man.
whole
I feel
fucking
like
thing,
they're not the best
you
parts
know.
of this film. This film's going to be a banger through and through, man.
Oh, dude, I really have high expectations for this movie. I really do. But like I said, I'm trying to stay away. I believe me, I want more information, but at the same time, I don't want to fuck it up for myself. Like I really want to sit down and enjoy the fucking movie in its entirety without actually like, oh, you know what? Oh, I guess this is the part where so and so comes out now. Like, I don't want any of that shit. So I just want to sit there and enjoy the fucking movie and, and not really be expecting anything. Just enjoy it.
Yeah, what's really crazy with me is, I mean, for me being like this like stupid crazy like hardcore Marvel fan, and not MCU, I just mean Marvel across the board. Like even with I mean, I'm a DC fan too. No disrespect to my DC Comics, Detective Comic fans, but I'm a really big fan of like what Marvel's been doing with their films, of course, like everybody else. But I'm a stickler for like the keeping to the resource, because I feel like
Yeah.
the farther you allow people to keep doing it, the farther it's going to get away, and it's going to fuck everything up eventually, right? In the Secret Wars comic book, there are two vehicles that are used called the life rafts. and they're very important when it comes to the two teams of people that are going to bring down Secret Wars in the story. One of them is Thanos's from the 616 universe or the Ultimate Universe. I'm not really. I think the 616. He comes in to bring in a bunch of villains, which is the Black Order, Submariner. Who else was in there? And I'm off the top of my head. What's his fucking name? The Inhuman brother. The Inhuman brother. Let me look him up real quick. Inhuman. Something the Mad. Inhuman. Black Bolt. I can't type for shit right now. Black Bolt. Brother. I think it's Maximus the Mad, if I'm not mistaken, off the top of my head. Maximus the Mad. There you go. It just popped into my head. Maximus the Mad is one of the villains that comes through with the Black Order. And of course, there's Black Swan. And then in the other Life Raft, it's Reed Richards, Miles Morales, Lady Thor, Cyclops with the Phoenix Force.
Okay.
There's Captain Marvel and I think Star-Lord and Black Panther. And all of them have a really big purpose in the end of the comic book. So in my mind, I'm actually thinking that what we're going to get is from the MCU, we're going to get a pocket of people that survive the Secret Wars because they get brought in by, I don't know, the Beyonder or Kang or however they're going to go with it. The other one is going to be the first Life Raft that has like the Fantastic Four and all that stuff. I think it's going to be Ryan Reynolds, man. I think it's going to be his cast of jolly men, and it's going to be all his people from his movie that they're going to be in a Life Raft. Because in the comic books, I don't know if anybody read this part, the end and stuff like that. Ryan Reynolds dies. The 616 Deadpool dies in the Incursions. Him, his daughter, and all his friends in the comic books, they go out like on a yacht and they just accept fate and they just die. So Deadpool's not really even in Secret Wars or the Secret Wars comic book. The Michael Bendis, or I forgot who do it, Aaron, whatever. Yeah, he's not in it, but I think Ryan Reynolds 100% brings Wolverine, and Wolverine's a part of it, and it's just like it's gonna have the craziest, because you could see them being like, okay, cool, like we're not gonna bring Jean Grey because Jean Grey's like always the Phoenix, but if they do Cyclops, if they bring in what's that guy's name from the Cyclops, the Cyclops from the first X-Men, I forgot his name, but the pretty boy, if they bring him in and he's the Phoenix Force, like that would be kind of cool, like, you know, because we already know him, Halle Berry, Jean Grey, that they already kind of told people that they were already going to be in this film, in the Deadpool 3 movie. So right now, if you're like an old school nostalgic X-Men character, like you're about to get like the greatest gift ever when it comes to like all the movies and shit. You can thank Ryan Reynolds for it, but yeah, I really hope that they go with that direction. Jeremy in the comment section says, oh man, did you all see the fan event Claw Machine for the Deadpool movie? It's really rad. You win the best friend necklace. Oh yes, I did.
Oh yeah.
I saw that. I thought that was really cool. It was fan. Oh, I thought it was a fan. I thought for some reason it's a fan made. I was like, holy shit, that's rad. I hope they have that like in theaters, man, because you can imagine having like a badass like Claw Machine to get the necklace. So that would be really, really cool. But yeah, I'm really excited for the Deadpool movie. I think that's probably the biggest draw for the summertime hits that's going to be coming in that I'm like straight up excited for. So
man, honestly, I don't see another movie that I'm really anticipating, you know, like this one. There are, you know, it's because, you know, when you Google like, 2024 upcoming movies or whatever, yes, there's a pretty decent list, but like, okay, like Ghostbusters, I was like, all right, Ghostbusters seems okay. But after seeing it, I'm like, it kind of fell short from my expectations. It was still good, but I probably rate it like a 7. It wasn't really that great. But yeah, the Deadpool Wolverine movie, bro, that has to be probably the movie of the year that everyone's waiting for. So
yeah, and I was really excited for Ghostbusters because the trailer made it look stupid exciting. Yeah, like, you know, there was the fucking icicles and everybody looked like they were gonna get run through, and just like it looked really, really sharp. But yeah,
I think I got more excited for the fucking bucket.
The bucket,
the Slimer bucket. Yeah, it was Slimer. So that to me was like a must have.
Yeah, that's like over
So
the top, kind of like every Ghostbuster fan needing it, kind of thing.
exactly.
Well, good
I'm
man.
surprised they didn't do an echo fucking bucket.
Oh, I mean, what would it be? I mean, it didn't even make any sense. An amputated leg or what? Like what?
No, like the Echo, the car, the vehicle.
Oh, the Ecto.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
Ecto
no,
fucking
that's
vehicle.
Ecto.
Like,
I thought you meant the Marvel superhero chick. I was
oh
like, wait,
no.
I was like, would it
No,
be
my
like an
bad, my
amputated
bad.
leg or whatever? I wouldn't even
No,
know
no,
what
no.
her thing would be. It'd be like a hearing aid or something like that. I don't even think she has like a specific thing.
No.
I never even got to ask you about that. But what did you think of the Echo show when it came out?
Dude, I probably saw maybe like 2 episodes and I booked it. I was like, yeah,
And
fuck
you were
this.
like, I'm done.
Yeah, I'm done. Dude, I'm telling you, bro, I have a very short attention span. You have to hook me quick. Like, okay, are you into anime?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so I watched the Villain Saga, season 1.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking loved it. A great fucking anime. Fucking
Nice.
amazing. Like, if I had to rate it, I'd probably give it like a 8.5 out of 10. I
Okay.
fucking love
Very
that.
nice.
Season 2 sucked ass, bro. It was fucking horrible. Like, like it was fucking bad. Like this dude, like you see the fucking the action from season 1, and you're like, damn, I can't wait for season 2. This shit's gonna get crazy. The motherfucker is like out there in the fucking woods chopping down trees the entire time. He's
Yeah,
basically a
real lame.
slave. You know, it was really lame. The entire fucking season. I'm like, this whole season was a fucking filler, bro. Like, this is ridiculous. I was so disappointed.
Speaking of anime, highly recommended.
Okay.
Kaiju number 8.
Okay, I haven't seen that. I did see the what is it, the level up one? That
Solo
was pretty good.
leveling.
Yeah, dude, that shit was awesome. I
Yeah,
liked it.
solo leveling's really, really fucking good.
I didn't like the fact that it was really short though.
I think it's still going, isn't it?
I don't know. Like I don't know. Like
Yeah,
right now,
solo
what I did.
leveling. I was gonna say, go ahead.
So I watched the entire thing, right? And then I don't know exactly what week I stopped because fucking working and all this other crap. So if it is still going, I haven't caught up with it. So I don't know.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, I mean solo leveling's still up there. I've been watching it. Me and a couple of our friends, we get together like on what is it, Discord? Yeah, we get on Discord
Okay.
and we kind of like do like watch parties in there, and we'll just like watch movies and animes and stuff. And
Dude,
that's one of them.
I noticed you really like starting to do that Zoom button a lot now.
Oh, dude, I'm telling you, bro, this Zoom thing is like the best, man. It's because like I was telling David was like, dude, what the fuck is up with this Zoom thing last week? And I was like, well, it's just that like,
all right, man, not that fucking close. That's a little creepy.
Yeah. For the life of me, every time I do it, I'm kind of always like this because of the camera I use. But I know like there's some gamers that'll be like this and they'll be playing the game and trying to do stuff. And for the life of me, I don't understand it. But as I keep fucking with it, I get it. I get it. I get why you want to be super close just for no fucking reason. Yeah, it's got to change up, man. You got to change it up. Got to be flavorful. Got to be flavorful. That's funny. But yeah, what was it that we were just talking about? Fuck, I totally forgot. I'm off mine. Anime. Yeah.
Yes.
So solo leveling is really, really good. Solo leveling is like damn good. The story is a little weird, but what kills it for me, that really hits it, is the American voice actor. Like he delivers really fucking well, really well. It's very much like a One Piece anime, though. It's very much like the guy like can like literally like solo anything he fucking beats up, like anything. But Kaiju number 8, though, like that has potential to be a great long going series. I really, really think so.
Okay, I bring this up just because you said kaiju. Like I hadn't seen -1 just until today because it got released on Netflix, so I just barely saw it.
It's super good,
dude. I fucking loved it. It was amazing.
Yeah, and it's really weird because of the dynamic of them releasing like the cartoony Godzilla and then that Godzilla.
Dude, okay, look, the fact that fucking movie won the fucking award for the budget that they had, dude, that's fucking outrageous. Like,
amazing.
I'm not gonna look, when you tell me the number of their budget, I was kind of like, oh man, this is gonna be kind of like a fucking cheap ass sci-fi movie. Like, it's, you know, that was my expectations. Dude, that shit was fucking good. It was actually a pretty good movie. Like, I'm not gonna say that the CGI was fucking amazing. Yeah, there was a little few parts here and there that were kind of a little iffy, but dude, the movie itself, I loved it. I fucking thought it was a great movie.
I was
You
gonna
know?
say, like, I mean, we're expecting to see like a photorealistic version of a giant lizard in the sky. Like, it's gonna be hard to pull any of that weird shit off. I mean, King Kong won like 12 Academy Awards one time. They got fucking Jack Black an Academy Award for fuck's
Oh
sakes.
yeah, yeah,
And it was making a giant monkey look real, which that just didn't look good at all to me in any part. But yeah, minus I like the fact that it's so like it takes into thought like the compassion of like the human spirit in the film. And
yeah,
it correlates a lot with like the trauma and the destruction that it does to the human, rather than
yeah,
it just be about a fucking lizard and a giant monkey just shooting shit and blowing up buildings. Like it reminds me very much of like the cartoony version of Godzilla, the really weird one. It reminds me of that first Man of Steel movie when Zod and Superman are fighting,
Oh, okay,
and
yeah.
it was the first time in a very very long time that people realized that they were like, bro, these superheroes, they fuck shit up, dude. Like, I don't know how the fuck someone can be like, Superman's never killed somebody. That's got to be easily 150,000 people dead by these guys' hands, dude, just on their actions alone. So, like,
Yeah.
the fact that Superman doesn't directly kill somebody isn't excusable for the fact that he like laser beams an entire building in half and murders like the entire 20 floors above it by accident. That's still him murdering people, guys. So like, yeah, that's I like that because it was people that had never really like considered the over the top silliness that superhero fights in comic books can do, and then they bring it into the movie, and like most of the audience was like, wow, they really fucked that city up, dude. What does it
Yeah.
matter if they kill Zod at the end if they killed like 50,000 other people? Like they
Oh,
breaks
hey,
his
hey, hey, but he saved that one family though. He did save that one
Oh
family.
yeah, you say that one family, those three people that thank God they weren't in the building earlier. Across the street with the whole family that got murdered with at a family reunion or something.
They
But yeah,
fucked up
it's
that
wild.
IHOP though,
Oh, the IHOP.
bro.
Hey, did you
Okay,
did you
so
really dig Man of Steel? Was that like one of your good movies or no?
actually, I enjoyed it, bro. I'm not gonna lie, I thought it was pretty good.
There's people
Like
that tell me that.
I like the little side stories of his I guess nomad quest. You know, like being like dude, the guy was a fucking what is it, a waiter, a bartender or something
Yeah, at the
at a
beginning of
small
the movie.
local bar. Yeah, and then he fucks up that fucking 18-wheeler with all the
Yeah,
logs and shit. And
the
then
part that
he worked it, yeah, and then he worked at the rigs and offshore rigs and shit like
and the
that.
guys
Like
in the fucking with the fire and shit,
yeah,
all
so you know,
naked and
like
shit. He just comes out
yeah,
all
so like
fucking like
little stuff like that. I thought it was pretty cool because it's like little side stuff that like they don't really show you in other movies. Now going back to what you were talking about that nonsense about King Kong and Godzilla just fucking
yeah.
randomly fighting and shit, dude. I have, like I said again, short attention span. I'm so fucking hooked. Like you just give me a fucking giant gorilla and a lizard going at it, I'll just sit there. It could be a fucking squirrel and a chipmunk, and
Yeah,
I'll
fuck
just
them up,
watch
man.
it.
Yeah, fuck it all up, guys.
Give them a fucking
It was so
acorn and let them
crazy,
go
man.
at it.
Like the whole Man of Steel thing. Like I tell people all the time, there's people that I guess like I look up to in this like that tell me Man of Steel is probably like the greatest superhero movie ever, and I'm like, man, I did not watch the same film you guys did. Like I don't think it was that great. I think it was okay, but Henry
Okay,
Cavill.
if I rate it, I give it a 7.
Yeah, I would be somewhere around there, like a 7, maybe a high 6. There was just things like the part you're talking about, the nomad part, right? He ends up working in all of these back jobs because he's just moving around. It doesn't really explain why, because you say like how you're saying it. Oh, he did it because that's the nomad, right? That's the nomad of him.
Yeah,
But we figure out later on in the last part of that montage of him working really weird jobs that he was on the way to get a job with the military to get closer to the ship. Like he just ended up being the dude carrying Lois Lane's bags later. And I was
yeah.
like, how did this fucking happen? Like, how did he get a job so fast on this like secret,
A fucking
blacklisted
base.
area for yeah?
Yeah.
How did he just get a job working at a Denny's, bro? You know what I mean? Like there was things that just did not make sense. Just did not make sense. And that was one of the
Okay.
major things for me.
When he was growing up as a kid and he was slowly gaining his powers, I thought that was amazing. I love that.
I love
Like,
that part of Superman in all the movies, man. They did
but
that good in the
but
Cat
when you
movie. Uh,
compare Henry Cavill's Superman to what was it, Superman Returns? Oh, dude, Henry Cavill all
oh
day,
yeah,
bro.
Henry Cavill kills that. But that was during a weird time in our lives. That was right
What,
after
Superman Returns?
9/11. Yeah, that was right after 9/11. There was going to be a lot of like patriotic symbolism in the film, a lot of flags, a lot of like, there was something about it that every TV show had to show like some American flag and everybody rallying together and shit. There was a lot of like over the topness with it. And then they
Okay,
tried
look,
to
man.
keep the Christopher Reeve style Superman stuff at the end.
Yeah, I totally get that. But that Superman that played that is, well, whoever he was, that's pretty sad. I don't even remember the fucker's name. But
Yeah, I
anyways,
remember
the actor who played Superman in Superman Returns,
Brandon
like,
Roth. Brandon.
I cannot unsee him in Zack and Miriam Make a Porno.
Yeah, Brandon Roth. Ruth. Was he in that movie too? He wasn't in that movie. Was he?
Yes. Yeah.
Holy balls, dude.
He had a gay lover.
Well, yeah, I don't know if you saw this guy, right?
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, he ended up coming out in the Flash crossover that brought in Kingdom Come Superman. And he ends up being Kingdom Come Superman, which is the one, if you're very particular about looking at what's his name, not Zack Snyder, James Gunn is doing, this is the S on the Superman's chest. Yeah, here they are. So this is the newer Superman that came out in Lois and Clark or whatever. And of course, there's Brandon Roth who played Superman in the films, and then of course this guy, I forgot his name, the one from the Flash. But off the top of my head, I can't think of his name. But I mean, his movie was okay. I just feel that they took a lot of impression from the Christopher Reeves, but that style of storytelling doesn't really work as much anymore in the nowadays times. That's why the Man of Steel, I feel, works very well, where you kind of get more psychological. I think the weirdness of that film was like him going into like the Alaskan tundra to see his father like doing weird shit, like just building a snowman or whatever he's doing. I didn't quite get that. Like I thought they were gonna do like the whole what is it that he has, the Fortress of Solitude?
Yeah.
And they never really went with it. And I believe that the Fortress of Solitude was probably going to end up being the spaceship that he finds. Of course, Zack Snyder took it in a different direction and was like, yo, it'd be really cool if we made Doomsday from this or whatever the fuck he did. But
Dude, look, okay, so we went to the theater to watch that movie, that Superman Returns movie, and
Mhm.
I have a really good friend. He's a hardcore Superman fan. After that movie came out, he started buying all the action figures. He bought, I think it's like a 12 or a 15-inch figure. No, it's like a 24-inch figure. Yeah, it's a big ass motherfucker. He ended up buying all this stuff, right? And he's like, "Oh, dude, this is gonna be worth so much later on, dude. It ain't worth shit right now." But anyways, long story short, I kept giving him shit after that. Going back to the Zack and Miriam Make a Porno, dude. I'm telling you, ever since that fucking movie came out, I kept fucking with him. I'm like, dude, you're Superman, yo. He's a little fruity, bro. And he's like, don't say that about Superman. He was getting really booty hurt about it. And I'm like, bro, go for it.
I was gonna say, by chance, did you get to see the Scott Pilgrim animated film, the part 2?
No, I didn't.
No, there's like they go back and they redcon a lot of stuff from the first film.
Really?
They redcon a lot of stuff, and in that part, they make it to where, of course, that guy Brandon Roth plays the vegan boyfriend, the one that plays the bass in the.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, he plays that because he played Superman, and so like to exuberate like the glowing eyes and the flying, and they wanted to have someone that was like iconic in that sense. So during that time, of course, Brandon Roth had just played Superman, so that was like a big grab for him. In the animated series, in the movie, you end up seeing that he falls in love with the chick that used to date Scott Pilgrim, right? The main villain, which is Captain Marvel. What's her name? I forget all of these fucking people's name when I need them off the top of my head. Brie Larson. Yeah, Brie Larson.
Oh, the actual actors. Okay.
Yeah. Well, no, in the
movie. Yeah.
In the movie, Brandon Roth's character is dating Brie Larson's character, right? Who's Evie Adams. And yeah, that's that story. In the animated series, there's like a huge retcon of like what happens, and Brandon Routh's character ends up dating Wallace, the best friend of Scott Pilgrim,
Okay.
the gay guy he lives with.
Yeah,
So
the
they
apartment.
end up hooking up. Yeah, Brandon Routh's character, which is the bass guitarist guy, end up hooking up with that guy in the new Scott Pilgrim animation. So again, taking his character and making them LGBTQ, which is I guess like what they wanted to do. I'm not really sure, but again, I wasn't a big fan of the animated series. I think they went and took it in a whole weird direction, but it does have some parts that are really, really great and some parts that just really, really fall hard. But you can't, what do you do? Like the director's on set. He's like, this is what I like. Like, I want to do this. And you're like, bro, like, why go back and mess your masterpiece up? Like,
Dude, I'm not gonna lie. Scott Pilgrim, I fucking love that movie. I
the
like it.
original
It's
movie is
something.
so good, man.
Dude, it's something refreshing. Something. It's comedy. It's got a little bit of action in it. It's the whole sense of humor because it's comic book themed, like and then it's actually more arcade themed. But
Mhm.
it's fun, dude. It's something different. It's something refreshing.
Yeah. And the series, the new movie came back, and I just feel like it was like hey, look what I could do kind of moment.
Oh,
Yeah, and it for me it didn't hit hard. Of course, there's a group of people out there. I don't think it's a large group that are out there that would say like it's probably one of the greatest things since sliced bread. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Scott
that stupid
Pilgrim.
that line you just said. I don't know why it just popped in my head. That Stewart from Saturday Night Live.
Oh yeah,
Look what I
do.
look what I
That's
can do.
exactly why I said it. Yeah. That's why I said
Look what I
it.
can do.
Exactly why I said it. Because it's just like you already know like how ridiculous it is, dude. So like yeah, that's it. Yeah, I mean it's still up there with the ratings and stuff. So I guess it's doing something for someone somewhere. But yeah, it's at 96 for the average tomato meter or whatever, and then audience score is at an 85. I mean,
Dude,
it's
either
definitely doing
way,
something.
it's not
I mean,
bad.
yeah, I was like, for me, it was one of those things like the opportunity to bring back all of these people that were in the original film. That was very cool. Um, I just wasn't a big fan on how they were taking the story. They're. I mean, it would be weird if you know what. I'll go out there and shoot it at you just to give you a heads up. I mean, it's been like what? When did this come out? Fucking. If you ain't
Early
running to go
2000s.
see it, I don't think I'm gonna fucking stop you from getting spoilers or whatever. It's fucking 13 years later or whatever. Come on, Nico, goddamn. Um, so at the very beginning, he fights Patel, which is that Indian guy in the
Yeah.
bar. And in that part of the story, we all know that Scott, gives him the good old 1-2 and the big ass Superman punch and kills him. Well, in the comic, in this one, he wins. Scott Patel wins and he kills Scott Pilgrim and he
Oh
explodes and shit
wow.
like that. Yeah. And then it's Ramona having to go out there and reconciliate relationships with all her exes, like go back and kind of apologize and hold accountability to herself. It was all right. I mean, it wasn't that bad, but then they ended up doing this weird, like Scott comes from the future. He says that him getting with Ramona was a huge mistake and they should have never got together. And Ramona ends up becoming like this like multiversal universal goddess. I don't know, like there's just some really weird choices that they made. The number one thing that kind of fucked it up for me was they destroyed the idea of Scott Pilgrim and Ramona's relationship. If you really understood the story, you know that the reason why it worked was because Scott was a huge piece of shit and Ramona was a huge piece of shit. And they both treated people unfairly for what they wanted to get. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
in all of this like situation, they created enemies out of people that were actually really good people. They were just, typical story misunderstood, I guess you could say. You know what I mean? But the idea of the turmoil of like when a guy treats a girl bad to how a girl treats a guy bad, all of Ramona's ex-boyfriends become like these psychotic killers of wanting to beat up the next guy. You know what I mean? Where when Scott does it, she breaks the heart of a girl and she just like hooks up with like the other friend or whatever and tries to continue to, you know what I mean? It's very dynamically at the time kind of expressing how relationships were, you know, where guys go out and cheat and they treat girls like shit. They get brokenhearted. The chick ends up, you know, coloring her hair or whatever she does and ends up being a badass. Nobody didn't like knives. We all love knives. But all the people that Ramona hurt in that like suffered a lot of trauma. Like all of them suffered so much trauma for how that she just up and left them. She got what she wanted and left.
Just
So
a
like
quick disclosure, guys. There are good men out there. Don't worry about it. Okay.
there are
So
definitely good
no,
guys.
don't let Chris ruin this for you guys.
No, fuck them all. No, there's no good guys. No, I'm just kidding. No, it's really cool because like the one of the weirdest guys in that movie that nobody ever liked because he was such a douche was Chris Evans' character.
Dude, yeah.
Skateboard. He is such a hoss dude in the animated series. He's such a good man. Such a good man. Like you end up being like, wow, Ramona, you're such a bitch, dude. Like, why'd you dump
Be
this
honest
guy?
though. Be honest. Would you have preferred him to be the good guy or that fucking jerk with the coffee and shit like that? Like
The jerk with the coffee. Wait, which
like
one had the coffee?
yeah, like as a skateboarder, like which one do you think ended up being better? Like do you think his character being a good individual or as a good boyfriend, or do you think it like his character was better off portrayed as like the real athletic, sporty,
Oh,
skateboarding
dude,
jerk?
are you kidding me? Like everything in the first movie was fantastic. You know what I mean? Like I prefer him as the piece of shit that gets like yeah, that fucking dies on the rail, just trying to show off really hard. Like you know what I mean? Like that's straight up. But like it was so cool to see it in a different format where you were like, all he wanted was an apology.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? And then he's like, don't worry, Ramona. Like, all of these reporters are coming after you because you're dating a famous person or were, and they want to know your history or whatever. But run, I'll stop them. And then all the fucking, it's crazy. All the journalists and reporters are like ninjas. So like they're sense because they always, you know what I mean? Like
all the fucking paparazzis are ninjas.
all the paparazzi are fucking ninjas with swords, and they're all trying to get the shot. And you know, he plays defense, and he fucking helps her out and stuff because he's dating someone. I forgot who. I know it's someone important, but I just can't remember off the top of my head.
Dude, I'm telling you, every time I'm on your show, we have like a route that we're supposed to take, and I fucking detour the shit out of everything. Like,
Yeah, I was like in my mind right now, I was like, wow, we had points. We just haven't touched any. But there's so many cool segues, right? Like there's so many cool segues because I mean we could have segued this into like what we wanted to talk about, like the alkalites and all that stuff. We could have segued or even MCU.
Dude, it's just fucking crazy because like it's like okay, like for all of you who don't know, we have a small little green room right before we start the podcast, and we start talking to each other, and we kind of just give each other like, okay, hey, these are going to be a couple of points that we're going to maybe touch up on or we're going to talk about during the podcast. Now we try our best not to talk about it during the green room because we want to give you guys our live.
Save it.
Yeah, we want to save it and give our live reactions to these things. I kid you not, we have not touched one fucking point. we had like a graph, like, okay, guys, we're gonna go to point A, point B, C, and D, and we're gonna end it. We haven't even touched fucking A.
That's the way it is, my man. That's the average boys right there. We are not average when it comes to
I'm sorry. It just I fucking derail the shit out of everything because we're trying to go straight and I'm like, yeah, hard left turn. Like, you know, like I'm sorry, dude. That's just me.
No, but it's all good because it's fun talking points, man. I mean, Scott Pilgrim. I love Scott Pilgrim. I can talk about that shit all day.
How the fuck we got to Scott Pilgrim? I have no fucking clue.
I think we were just talking about Man of Steel, and then Brandon Roth.
Oh, okay. Damn, dude, fuck.
I'm telling you, dude. DV8, brother. DV8. But as a matter of fact, we can jump into it. Let's go ahead and start talking about our first topic. Well, we got a good, I think, we should have like an hour, pretty much to kind of cover all of that.
Go for it.
Yeah, because we usually cover this from like 7 to 9. Wait, we go to 7 to 9 or 7 to 10? I can't remember. Fuck it, we just go. All I know is we start at 8. That's all I know. So that's all I know. But going into our first part of the conversation, we were talking about, of course, the DC universe. Finally, we got some type of information coming out of it, and we got it based on information coming out. Actually, this is the second part of information because the first was the release of the picture of Superman, right? Like his costume, kind of giving us an idea. Him sitting in the chair, fixing his boots. There's a big robot in the back kind of doing its thing, and he's not really caring too much about it, which I think I forgot who said that it was possibly the ship for the Authority. And there was a part of me that thought, what about There was another character named Jack Black, Jack Flag or something like that. He's like a psychic guy. Let me see if I
Oh,
can get
okay.
him. Jack, DC Comics,
I
Jack.
know we touched bases on this subject about the whole Superman photo with Brian the other
Mhm.
time. And that's when you guys showed me the picture and I was like, "Oh, okay, I thought I hadn't seen it." And then when you showed me the photo, I was like, "Oh yeah, I fucking remember that shit."
Yep.
But I seriously, I'm not bullshitting. I seriously thought that was just like some random fucking cosplayer like taking a photo shoot.
That's funny.
I I'm
You
not
just
I'm
said it
not
was a
fucking
dude.
around. Yeah, it's just some
What,
random fucker just, like, dressing up as Superman. Huh.
what is it? Psychic, right? Psychics. Not Maxwell Lord. Manchester Black, dude.
Manchester Black?
Yeah, from the DC universe. You know who that is?
Dude, I'm not too familiar with the whole DC universe.
Manchester Black is part of the DC Authority. Yeah, he's also part of that. So the same thing that they were talking about bringing to the comics, and I really think this guy will probably be one of the characters that comes in. He is a British gentleman that's very like rancid punk, like very spider punk esque, leather jacket, spikes, all that old school,
Okay.
the British flag and all that stuff. Um, but he's got psychic abilities. He's got telepathic abilities, and he's a character, man. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, he did come out in one animated film for Superman.
What was the
Let me
character's
see,
name so I can look him up?
Manchester Black.
Okay.
Yeah, he came out in Superman versus the Elite, which was a fucking really great animated movie. Great animated movie. Yeah, so that was apparently the ship that the Authority uses, which I remember from that series that they had. But going back to the concept of it, them releasing a Green Lantern series and finally getting a writer. Now, what's crazy is, of course, Green Lantern's been teased in the DC universe for a minute, man. If you remember, of course, we had the good old fashioned Ryan Reynolds Green Lantern film that came out that was not,
Fucking nightmare.
yeah, not at all taken very well. Even Ryan Reynolds himself self deletes himself in the Origins movie, or was it Deadpool? Deadpool 2, actually, right? Where he ends up getting the time slip from Cable,
Yeah.
and he ends up going back in time, and of course, killing baby Hitler, which he should have done baby Thanos, which would have been really funny because that would have been connected to the MCU more. But he ends up going back and killing Ryan Reynolds reading Green Lantern. Then he goes back and kills Wade Wilson in the X-Men Origin films. Like, he goes back and fixes the mistakes he knows that are the troll mistakes, right?
Yeah.
Which are the ones that everybody makes fun of him. But yeah, with James Gunn taking over, there's a lot of like up and down, a lot of people, but James Gunn did fairly well with the Guardians of the Galaxies trilogy. He's gone out there and done very well with those films. Now he's coming into the DCU, which means, and not only that, he had a pretty positive accomplishment with season 1 of Peacemaker.
Okay,
So,
Peacemaker was fucking great. I like that show. When it
and
comes to Guardians, my opinion, the first one and the third one are probably the best. I didn't like the second for shit.
oh really? I
Yeah,
like
I
the
didn't like the
soundtrack in
second.
the second one. I'm not really a big fan of like how they took the story, nor what they did with Ego, the Living Planet.
Yeah.
I didn't really care for that too much. But yeah, I agree. The first one was really, really great. I think that kind of like broke cinema for a little bit with the concept of using like a really great soundtrack in a film that could be mediocre. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like
Yeah.
the Guardians of the Galaxy was just a typical team coming together hero story, but the soundtrack was like amazing. So, oh, I was gonna say, what were you gonna say?
Oh no. It's because I was trying to think of like the soundtrack for the second movie. I was like, what the fuck was the second one?
The second soundtrack was pretty good. I mean, they used the
Because I know,
chains. That
yeah,
was
because
like one of
I
those
know
first ones.
obviously the Jackson 5 and everything came out on the first one, all these other
Yeah.
great songs. But like, okay, so the first one, I think it broke the entire fucking the like box office thing. It was fucking amazing. The second one, I think, I'm not gonna lie, my personal feelings on this, I think they just fucking made it just to get the fucking movie out because they knew people were gonna go watch it regardless. Now it was just one of those like, let's just get a fucking movie out there. It's probably not going to be the best, but people are going to be stupid enough to go watch it, which we were. The third one,
I mean,
it was more the story of Rocket. Like people wanted more background on this character because everybody loves Rocket.
yeah, but it's like one of those things. Like the problem with the Guardians of the Galaxy in general is that they don't really have a comic book arc that anyone gives a shit about except the Annihilus wave.
Yeah.
Or if you bring in like the Nova Corps, and the Nova Corps was brought in the first movie, and then of course in Infinity War.
I seriously thought Nova was going to make an appearance. Yeah, I was waiting for
it was so weird for them not to. For them to even go with like any of the Thanos stories without bringing in some way like that. Here's like a Nova and he's got powers. And then Nova Prime, of course, like is another dude who's got power that's eventually going to give Richard Rider that power. Like even just the information of them not introducing a Richard Rider was it bewildered the fuck out of me. And we've talked about it here on the show before because Trigger's a bigger fan than I am. And we talked about, because Triggs likes to die on that cross where it's like, hey, the MCU can get away with doing all this stuff and it's okay because they're really good at making movies and they don't have to follow source material that well. They can deviate and it still be good. And I'm like, dude, you're about to have, how would you feel? I mean, he's about to get to Secret Wars. And I told him a long time ago that's him. Like he loves that story more than I do. And like I ask him all the time, I'm like, can you see it yet with the characters that are on the table, like the people that are across the board? Can you see Secret Wars, any of them working? And he's like, well, no, none of the characters that are there that are the main players are there. Like, how can you do Secret Wars without Doom? Like without having Doom established as like the craziest villain, like that's almost like a weird anti-hero when he needs to be. You know what I mean? And people will never get that. People won't get that in one film. I mean, like, why would you introduce Kang the Conqueror during Secret Wars if he's not even a major player in the story? Yeah, and then say like, oh, that's gonna be the villain.
Dude, that's the thing though. They choose some of the most random villains that a lot of normal people who don't follow comics or aren't into the real comic book scene, they get lost because they don't know who or what this character is about. That's why when they stayed with X-Men, the X-Men kind of had their villains. And there were more mainstream villains where people kind of knew them. Kind of same thing with Spider-Man.
Yeah, well, that's why those characters work really well in the Saturday morning cartoon vibe, because they have like villains of the week that are really cool. Like you can one week have the Juggernaut for no reason, and then the next week after that you could have Magneto, who's not even a villain. He's just a misunderstood, Holocaust survivor. You know what I mean? Like it's straight. I know,
hey, Derby's getting mad.
Yeah, Derby. But yeah, like it's very important that we kind of keep closer to the source material, right? The reason why we're talking.
So on the lanterns, okay, if we go into the series, are you going to be excited about possibly seeing the other lanterns, the other colors, the red, the yellows, the blacks?
So that's the thing about the DC universe, like. The other lanterns are where the big craziness of the story comes from. But you have to be like a really big fan of the Green Lantern to know really any of that outside of like what he does with the Justice League, like being like a support character in the Justice League films.
Yeah.
Because like most of the time, even when they do show like some of the characters in some of the films like they have, or like in the TV shows or the cartoons, like it's more about the dedication to the teamwork in the Green Lantern's Corps, and then them rallying around one of the main guys.
Okay, well, now that you brought that up, if you were to talk about the Green Lantern series, we don't have too much information on this. Would you prefer seeing a little bit more of the Justice League series in a sense, like him more in that? Like sidekick, support help, or would you want to see more of the actual true story of the Green Lantern with the other lanterns, the Violets, and all these other guys?
So like I kind of hope that's what I hope we get. I hope we get like a cosmic like storytelling of the Green Lantern story, them going around actually being like police officers in a cosmic landscape. I think that helps establish very well that the DC universe is not just Earth-based, but it automatically shows us that there's like a vast universe to the DC universe. If you introduce the cosmic landscape through the DC, through the Lantern Corps. Sorry, through the Lantern Corps. So yeah, I could rally behind this. Guy Gardner is probably my favorite, which is the redhead Green Lantern. That's always like a dick.
Yeah.
Like he's like the Irish guy. He's always about throwing punches and fighting and stuff like that. He never gets like his licks too much, but Hal Jordan is the one that a lot of people rally behind. I know that there's another one off the top of my head, Rainer. I can't remember that like off the top of my head what his name, but he was like the best Green Lantern ever. And then of course, like you have all your other, side Green Lantern characters, but I think if you were going to give us a series that would eventually talk about some of the deaths in the DC universe and eventually bring us the Black Lanterns, I think that would be a great story, because I think it's a waste of time if you were to give us a Green Lantern story only to have him established for the DC the Justice League. I think it'd be a waste, man. There's a lot of rich stories when it comes to the Green Lantern Corps. And we don't have anything like that in comic books right now, I think, where they talk about like an army or a policing state of comic book characters. I know that Thor has the Thor Corps when it came to the Secret Wars, which is all the people who are able to lift hammers, and across the universe, people that have had hammers.
Yeah.
But you don't have like a Green Lantern Corps. It would be really cool, man. It's like the Nova Corps when it was in the fucking Infinity story, but they were just, they got ran through, man.
Okay. If it is more of a galactic thing, I would have really high hopes for it. I would actually watch and probably enjoy it more. Now, if it's going to be, we're just going to show like little sidekick stuff here and there on Earth, like it's not going to be as great, man, because it's like you said yourself. If you can introduce some of the other characters, or don't even introduce them, just give us hints here and there, possibly that they're around and that they're going to drag it to another season, and hopefully that gets the interest of the people to watch the first season, because you're hoping that later on they're going to run into these guys. Because once they run into Black and Red, dude, all hell breaks loose. Like, it gets fucking crazy. I don't know. I really like it. Now, do you know if it's going to be Hal Jordan or what is it, John Stewart, or I think it's John Stewart.
I think it's going to be a Hal Jordan story from what I got. So what was really cool is this past week, it looks like, of course, we have what is going to be, I guess, the writer or the director, right? Per Gizmodo, directors of the WH reveal the writers on board to pen the Green Lantern series is Damon Lindelof, which is responsible for The Watchmen, but the show The Watchmen, not the movie The Watchmen. Yeah, let's get that. Let's get that.
I was like, whoa! I was like, holy shit!
He did some type of like writing awards and stuff like that. And then Chris Mundy from the Ozark TV show on Netflix.
It says here, well, James Gunn is basing it off the Earth one. Oh, come on, dude! Don't.
Yeah, he's gonna fuck it up. I keep telling people, man, like James Gunn has like his ups and downs, but like in my mind, if you were gonna do a Green Lantern story, like first off, you don't do it on Earth. Like Earth is minuscule in the DC universe at the very beginning of it when they first introduced the Green Lanterns. He goes out there and you have him solve crimes like about xenomorphs wiping out small alien villages. You have him, do like, a certain group of people show up and they got their arms ripped off by like some type of like cosmic being, or someone escaped War World, or someone escapes Apocalypse, some shit like that, dude. And then you have it to be like they're doing cop jobs, but in space. You make it like a fucking TV show 24 or like NYPD Blue, but in space. You got that shit in space, and that would be really fucking interesting because we've never had anything like that. I mean, he comes to Earth. What's he gonna do, man? Like what's he gonna do?
Like, look, you got to take it into consideration. This fucking ring is so fucking powerful. If that ring actually did exist here on Earth, dude, the guy would be fucking unstoppable. Now, if you put him in a galactic world where the other guys have other powers similar to him, it's like, okay, now we're gonna get into some real shit. Now, like the action is gonna be a lot better. Like, who the fuck is gonna be like? I can't think of an actual villain on Earth that can actually kind of somewhat take him on, that they would have to introduce super quick and super fast.
Like, I mean, the only time that he ever makes effort on Earth by himself is when he's just doing basic petty stuff as like a regular, like kind of like Ryan Reynolds' character, where he's just like stopping criminals like a huevo. But the other time is just when he, interacts with the Justice League. And I don't think on the series being on HBO is going to be like, yo, Batman just showed up. You know what I mean? I don't think that's gonna happen. Superman's here in the show. I don't think that's gonna happen. I literally think it's just gonna be like the intro of Ryan Reynolds' character. He gets the fucking ring from the character that dies. I can't remember off the top of my head.
So
He
you
then
think
starts
that it's gonna be more of like let's say season one is gonna be all like his fucking training and
origin.
shit, and like
Yeah,
how he gets the ring, then he goes to outer space, does the whole entire fucking training with the lanterns,
yeah.
all this
I
shit.
really
You
think
think
so.
it's wow?
Yeah, even like right now, like Derpy's in the comment section. He's saying that well, James Gunn, right, or what I had just put on, well, James Gunn is basing it off of Earth One, which I don't know if that'll ever touch on other sections of the Green Lanterns. I really don't think it does. I really think it's just like the basic story of him finding the ring and then being like, oh, look at what I could do or whatever. But like, there's no real training as a Green Lantern to be a part of the Green Lantern Corps, which is what means we're just going to be in the same situation as last time, where we get introduced to Sinestro, but Sinestro never really becomes the Yellow Lantern. Like,
Yeah.
and it's just all the same BS that they always give us. Like, what I want is I want an established already Hal Jordan. He's already been a part of the Corps. He may be on Earth, during like something that happens in the Superman movie, and then he leaves because it's like, oh, they already have a hero. I can lay off of this section for a bit. He's a
On
Kryptonian or whatever, and
Yeah,
then he goes off and does shit in space.
honestly, I could see. Okay, they could do it two different ways. They could do it the entire introduction of how he fucking gets this ring,
Mhm.
and then if he goes to outer space, does the actual training, or like you just mentioned, you just throw him in and jump the series, and throughout the series, every once in a while, you can throw like a flashback of when he was training, supposedly. Like they didn't actually show us that episode, but like a flashback of when he was training with the lanterns, of how to actually properly use the ring, how to say the oath and all this crap, like stuff like that. But at that moment, already have him in there as a full fucking lantern, trying
Mhm.
to take out people, in outer space. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Because it's true. Like, what the fuck is he gonna do here on Earth, man? Like, it's gonna be real petty shit that you're talking about, stopping a few little, criminals here and there. We don't
Yeah.
want to see that shit. Like,
I think that gets too boring. That's just like through and through what I think happens. I think it ends up just being the same over the like, just it's just boring for the Green Lantern character. I think it's just I think it needs to be taken care of a lot more better if that's the case. And they just need to get him off Earth and just send him off into space. Bring him when there becomes like a bigger thing and Earth is going through some shit and it pops off on the ring that they need help. And then that's why the Green Lanterns show up.
yeah,
And you just build each character that's going to slightly appear in that or be important to that factor. That'll be in the overall, because sooner or later we have to get to the Crisis Infinity, right? Which you get Hal Jordan, you get Guy Gardner, you get Kilowog, you get all of those characters, Sinestro, you get them all to kind of appear in it too. So I don't know, it'll just be crazy. Derp says, I do think if you read the comics, it reveals the bigger picture of what James Gunn will do. I'm not going to spoil it though. It's just the Crisis. Like, there's nothing to spoil. It's just the Crisis. Like, that's the ultimate story that every canonized DC story gets to. It's the what is it? The universal rod that Batman hides in his basement. It's the wall that's at the end of the wall that the DC 50 New 52 covers. I forgot what it's called, but like DC universe it's very cut and dry. Like, compared to the Marvel universe, it's very cut and dry. It's very like, hey guys, there's a multiverse, but there's only 52 planets. Like, it does not get any more than that. Brainiac, he controls all of them one time in history to the New 52. Like, it's very chill. Uh, even with the whole like dark side character, people are like, oh, dark side, he's not multiversal like Thanos. Like, there's only one dark side. How he is in every universe, I don't know. They don't really explain it. But that's the dude. He's just one guy. But the one that you see is not even his real body, because if you saw his real body, it's too strong to, I don't know. It's just dumb. Dude. Simple but dumb. Um, but yeah, Green Lantern, the original one. If not, they're probably gonna go with, what was the Green Lantern from like way back in the day? That's probably what they're gonna do. They're gonna bring in the Scott guy. I forgot his. Let me see if I get original Green Lantern. Oh, I spelled that wrong. Yeah, I forgot his name, but Alan Scott. Yep, off the top of my head, Alan Scott. Alan Scott was one of the original Green Lanterns. He was part of like the Justice Society, which is of course like the old school, like the Super Friends and all that stuff. Woe is me. I'm not like that big of a DC Universe fan. Maybe Derpy. He's telling me he reads a lot of these and stuff. I don't know
The
how
the,
Alan Scott. What's
the
up?
original Lantern did have that fucking. It's stuck in my head. He does have the cape, right?
Yeah, he's a blonde guy with a cape.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay, all
In the
right.
comic books, if I'm not mistaken, they just made him an LGBT character. So I
Really?
don't know how sales have gone because like that character's been established for a long time and they just barely made him this. So I don't know how that's going, but yeah, he's I I have a feeling that they're probably going to go that direction. I mean, yeah, Hal Jordan will probably be the guy that gets the ring later, but he's going to get it from Alan Scott. Which, again, if anyone's out there, if you want to correct me, I'm not at all a Green Lantern fan. I think they're cool, but not that great. And maybe you could tell me the difference between how from Alan Scott to Hal Jordan, how it happens if the ring that Alan Scott or Scott has takes off, and then later on another one comes to Hal Jordan or whatnot. You can explain it to me in the comments, please. That would be great. But yeah, maybe it starts that way. Maybe it starts off as Alan Scott's story, and then he ends up being a mentor to Hal Jordan later when he gets his ring, and that's why it's kind of like on Earth kind of thing.
Okay.
Maybe. But even with that, I don't really see a lot of characters really doing a lot of good shit against the Green Lantern when it comes to fighting. But yeah, I don't want to spend too much time in this. Yeah, but I just wanted to say they got their new writer coming from the Watchmen series, the HBO Max. I believe the show is going to be on HBO Max also. That means they'll get some good funding. It should be high quality production. So yeah, still waiting on something for James Gunn to give us so that we can kind of gauge and if we're going to be excited on it or not. So yeah, that's my opinion on it. What about you, Nico?
Like I said, dude, I'm gonna keep it simple. You do it in space, I'm gonna fucking love it. It's gonna be something fresh, something nice, something we actually do need. Because if it's gonna be on Earth, man, I'm sorry, but I'm kind of already sick and tired of it. Yes, the original the movie that came out kind of already showed us how he got the ring. If you read the comic books, it kind of gives you, depending on which one you read or what character you're reading. But dude, I just want it in fucking space, bro. Just give me that. Like,
Give
come
me
on.
the space for
Just
fuck's
give me the
sake.
space lantern. Just give me fucking space, bro.
And
That's
Derpy
it. That's
says
all
it's
I'm
not on
asking.
Earth. He says it's not on Earth. Oh, well, that'll be good if it's not on Earth again. But if it's like, I want him to go on missions. Like, I want him to be out there already established that he has a ring. He's already been trained by Sinestro. Kilowog. All these guys have already been, brought out. Guy Gardner's already there. Like, I want it to be something where it's like a buddy cop movie. They go into the core, and all the cops are drinking coffee, and they're like, "Look, there's that bastard, Hal Jordan being a little bitch or whatever." And all the old school guys are talking shit about him, and he's out there trying to prove himself, and he's just going on missions, man. Him and Sinestro before Sinestro becomes the Yellow Lantern. That'd be really
I
cool. Establish they had like some type of like really good connection or really good friendship, and then when he changes, like it changes all that landscape. They have to establish that kind of shit.
You see, I would watch that.
Yeah. See, I know what's up. I know what's up. DC, James Gunn, hit me up, bitch. I'll fix your shit. All right, onwards to the next one. So jumping on to the other complete 180 in the Marvel Universe now. DC, or what is it? Marvel Universe Blade gets rewrites. Nico, are you familiar with the Blade series with Mashallah Ali? Like, what's your shot on this, dude? Are you familiar with all this crap?
Okay, honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I don't. I know who the actor is and all these things, but the fucking rewriting and all that, I seriously thought they were already in production and they were already fucking like not halfway through, but I knew that they were already starting production on this fucking movie, and then they keep fucking like reverting back to something. I don't know what it is that they're trying to fix. I don't know what the fuck they're trying to do. I just want this fucking movie to come out already. Like, I like Blade. Don't get me wrong. Blade 1 and 2 are fucking amazing. Trinity, yes, fucking horrible. It was trash.
Yeah, but it was fun though.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah.
But I didn't like it though. 1 and 2 are the best ones, hand down. That's it. I want to see where they're gonna take this fucking movie. Like, I'm anxious. Like, I want to see it.
Yeah, it's really, really fucking crazy when it comes to the Blade story. I think it's been like 4 years in the making when it comes to them just getting the production started. The rewrites came because apparently the last several iterations had it being more surrounded about his daughter, who no one, and I'll die on this. You can challenge me to this in comic book history or whatever. No one gives a shit about Blade's daughter. Right now, as we speak, Marvel, in some type of gatekeeping nonsense, is putting her as a main character in the Bloodlines comic. And they're probably going to make her solve the whole fucking thing, because they're going to be like, oh, well, you see, she's in the comic book. She did a big thing. And it's like, no one's buying that shit. No one is buying that comic book brand. That Bloodline story, I'm not even going to say it. It's stupid as fuck. That's what it is. Blade's always been a fan favorite character. In fact, if it wasn't for Wesley Snipes' Blade movie in the back, like in the 2000s, like it would have said the MC universe would have been done back then. Like, you know, if I'm, you know, I'll ask people, like, who do you want to see a Blade movie about, him or his daughter? Like,
Blade,
who would you want to see?
hands
Like,
down.
Blade, yeah, like, especially with the way Wesley Snipes portrayed the character, he made it a fun fucking character. Like, I
Dude,
could watch
he was a fucking okay, Wesley Snipes giving that character, he made him a straight up fucking badass.
Yeah.
Like this guy was fucking feared. This guy, like, you did not want to fuck with him. He was kind of like one of those guys, kind of like Moon Knight, bro. Like, you do not want to find this guy in a fucking alley. You know you're gonna get your ass kicked. Like, you know, he's just gonna beat the living shit out of you. Like,
what's your favorite scene in the Blade movies?
Okay, well, there's several. Okay, so there's obviously where they're in the club and it starts raining the blood, like they open the valves. Dude, so awesome. Even the fucking music is fucking, like, to me, it's, once you hear the music, you know it's fucking Blade.
Was it Crystal Method, right? That was the song. It was Crystal Method, wasn't it? Or Stabbing Westward or something like that.
Bro, it was fucking amazing. Okay, but the other part, I don't know the actor's name, the one that plays Hellboy. Okay. Where he puts that fucking thing on the back of his head. Yeah, Ron Perlman. Where he puts that fucking bomb and the bomb in the back of his head.
That was part 2, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's, dude, that shit was fucking. I love it. There's a part where he's like, oh, he's not even paying attention. He points the laser right at Blade. Yeah, and he's already pointing at his nuts or some shit. Dude, just, I don't know, man. Like, Wesley Snipes made that character fucking great. Like, I fucking love that.
Yeah, the fight scene. I think he said he established like his own variation of fighting for that character with his stunt team, which are the guys mostly that he's working with. Deacon Frost, the villain in the first movie, was really good.
Yeah.
My favorite scene is not like everybody's favorite scene. It's one of my favorite scenes. I think it really goes to show like how the character that Blade is, where like he portrays himself to be like this modern day like samurai, real like philosophical and real like shit like that. And there's a scene where he's in the hospital and he's chasing the guy he was supposed to kill, the familiar or something.
Yeah.
And he ends up running into these 2 cops, and the 2 cops shoot at him in the chest. And he turns back. And goes,
I know. Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about.
He turns around and goes, "Motherfucker, are you out of your mind?" Like, for that moment, his hood comes out, because you know he's a Wesley Snipes, a black man that played, you know, several roles of like the gangsterous like characters from the LA and New York Times or whatever. Like, so there's a lot of street to him, but like, of course, like what's crazy is he always tries to carry himself as like this, like, I don't take too many steps. This too many steps is too far into time. Like, just dropping like Japanese proverbs for no fucking reason. You know what I mean? And it takes you, man, dude, that one part takes me out of it and just reminds me like, oh, yeah, like he's a normal dude, like doing all of this like superhero shit too. You know what I mean? Like, that was so cool. That was like, you know, because you're watching the whole movie and it's swords and fucking shurikens, Chinese stars, and like all this shit, real crazy like martial arts stuff. Then you got this one, like I said, like a very interviews with a vampire. But like he's like this very hip hop esque like black dude, you know what I mean? Like he's just like a straight up like, what's up? Like, I'm here to throw down or whatever. But he never carries himself that way. He carries himself like he's like some kind of poet or whatever. And it just takes that little moment to take him out of his character. And it shows that there's like a whole bunch of onions to the fucking Blade character, which you see more of in Blade 3. When Ryan Reynolds and him are always arguing and he's always making fun of him during the montage. It's so good, dude. It's so fucking good. But But it's so sad to see because I think Mashallah Ali could have played this role off, and I think he's about out of this scene. I think he's about out of this whole entire film.
You think so?
Like, oh fuck yeah, dude! Dude, can you imagine being part of this and having to like, he's about to do Jurassic Park. He got picked up for Jurassic Park. Jurassic Park's already got his fucking script out, and he's gonna talk to dinosaurs or whatever the fuck he's gonna do. Like, and they can't get this motherfucking story right. I mean, what's so hard about a vampire walking around with a sword and a gun and killing other vampires? Like, that's it. All you're gonna do is, okay, like let's talk about it in the sense of comic books. What's the craziest thing they can do is introduce Dracula, like Dracula and all his armor with white skin.
They already did that. That was 3.
No, that's not Dracula. That's some other dude. But I'm talking about Dracula from the comics. Like, I don't know if you're familiar with this, but watch, I'll show you right now. Dracula Marvel. Like, Dracula in the comic books is like straight up fucking Castlevania, dude. Like, I'm not even lying, man. This guy's a hoss, dude. Check it. So that's Dracula in the comic books. So like in the Marvel universe, like that's him. And Deadpool's fucked with him before. I think Deadpool is married to his wife. Yeah, of course, Deadpool would be married to Dracula's wife, right? But yeah, that, I mean, and you could introduce this dude like and him be like a crazy dude, but like I could see Blade going against like a good old fashioned like old school Castlevania Dracula kind of character. It'd be cool. I think it'd be badass. But I don't see a reason to put him in before Secret Wars. Like, yeah,
I don't know what storyline I really liked. I really liked Deacon Frost and the second one with the prince.
Oh yeah. You're talking
Dude,
about
that storyline. I actually enjoyed it. I really did. That was a great storyline. The first one with Deacon Frost was okay. Yeah, with that one. Deacon Frost was an okay one. Like, it was a good one. But the second one, dude, that storyline, I fucking loved it. I like that storyline.
Well, this really guy good. That plays the villain, he's so good for villain characters like that.
Oh, that's from Hellboy, right?
Well,
Golden Army,
also. Yeah,
right.
He played the prince in that one too.
Yeah,
he is such a good actor when it comes to like these like action-esque kind of moderate
even the fight
guys.
scene that in that fight scene with Hellboy, that was actually a great one too. I liked it.
Oh, I love this fight scene. Luke Goss, that's the actor's name. He's so good, man. But yeah, like I think Mashallah Ali's gonna end up being out of this scene soon. I think he's gonna get out. What is it on the bottom? Derpy says Blade is one of the only 4 films I want to see. Okay, besides Fantastic Four and X-Men, I mean mutants, and it's pretty pathetic what Marvel and Disney is doing with their brand for the MCU. It is. You're not wrong, Derpy. You're so correct. And he says, do you think this film has to have Wesley Snipes as a cameo?
Yes.
No, but I think it builds a lot of respect because of the fact that Wesley Snipes single-handedly, if you break it down, saved the Marvel universe, saved Marvel comic books, because Marvel comic books was going bankrupt. If it wasn't for him,
honestly, it was Wesley Snipes, and then of course you got Robert Downey Jr.
Well, Robert Downey Jr. was like a draw later on, but we're talking about like because you look at the gap between when Blade 1 came out.
What was it? Late 90s, like 99.
Yeah, let me see.
And then Iron Man came out 2002 or
a huge gap, man.
Is there really?
Yeah, let me. I'll tell you right now. Let me see if I can get the date. Why did I do that? Hold on, my screen got big for no reason. Let's see. Blade. Oh no, man.
98.
Blade. It was a 98. Okay, I couldn't find it. It wouldn't tell me. It was telling me the new movie. And then you look up Iron Man movie release date, 2008. So you're looking at 10 years, man. 10 years.
10 year gap. Yeah.
And and that's because Blade, that was even a crazier draw. For it being not like a huge household name, Wesley Snipes took a huge risk. You know what I mean?
That's fucking crazy because like you really stop and think about it. You're like, holy shit! Like, that's a 10-year gap, bro.
Yeah, dude.
holy fuck. I don't know why, but my mentality, you never think of it that far in between. I was like, oh, 99, 2000 maybe for Blade. And then like I'm thinking Iron Man for some reason, like 2002, 2004 for some fucking reason.
No, because it's like Derpy put in the comments, there was a lot of stinkers in the middle of that. You know, you had all the fucking weird Fantastic Four movies. You had all the weird X-Men first movies. Like, you know, you had a
Oh, and
lot of
then
them in the Spider-Man, Tobey Maguire's. Like,
Daredevil, Elektra.
Daredevil, Elektra. That was wild, man. Yeah, you had a lot of crazy movies in between. And then Blade literally saved this franchise. Like Wesley Snipes taking the risk and all that stuff saved the shit out of this stuff. Like they would have never put money into it if it wasn't for what he did with that film. And yeah, man, I think, you know, I think he deserves his flowers. I don't think there's anyone out there in the world that's like, nah, man, fuck that movie. That's stupid. I really doubt there's anybody out there that thinks it's stupid. Yeah, I think, you know, Wesley Snipes should get some type of cameo. I don't know how. I mean, maybe just like a walk by. I mean, I don't know where people would say, nah, like fuck Wesley Snipes, he doesn't need one. When Bruce Campbell got a fucking cameo in a Doctor Strange for no reason.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And everyone was excited that he was like, oh, the guy from fucking Spider-Man that held the door or whatever. You know what I mean? Like,
you get the same with a Lou Ferrigno.
Yeah, Lou Ferrigno. It's just one of those things. Like, why not? Like, well, why? Like, what did Wesley Snipes do that he doesn't deserve it? I mean, I've never heard anyone be like, nah, dude, fuck those movies. They were stupid. Everyone I know is like, that movie was legit. I mean, of course, I think it's very sad that, you know, a lot of people talked about how there wasn't like any cool black representation in the superhero community when you had Blade. Hi, what's up, David? Good to see you, my man. Good to see you. But you know what I mean? Like, remember when all that talk was, I mean, Chadwick Boseman passing up a great man. I mean, shout out to Chadwick. We love that guy. But there was Wesley Snipes, man. Like, he brought that character to life so well.
I seriously think I seriously think back then people didn't even know Blade was part of the Marvel universe. I think that's really what it was. Yeah. I think people knew Blade as Blade, and they kind of made it seem like he was his own franchise. Like they didn't really collaborate. Like oh shit, like he is part of Marvel.
A superhero,
like, yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's that's really what it was.
Yeah, I can see that. And then Wesley Snipes at the time too was very prominently up there when it comes to being like a action star. So during that time, everybody was watching Wesley Snipes movies because he was making fun movies like Van Damme and Steven Seagal and all those other crazy people.
What was the other one? Passenger 57 or something?
Passenger 57. That was another one. Yeah. But I mean, that's it. That's the reason why I really believe so. So yeah. Do I think everything that's going on with the Blade rewrites and the problem, I think it's really bad. I think it's got to be because of like the political nature of what Marvel has been trying to push, or not Marvel itself, but Disney trying to push a lot of like agendas into films more because it has to reach certain demographics or certain, you know, opportunities for awards and ceremonies and all this other stuff. Disney has never been one of the greatest lights for freedom fighters in the world. They've just followed trends to make money. So they're just a ship when it comes to that. So I don't think anybody should rally behind these companies when it comes to like, oh man, they're really out there when it shows to representation or whatever. Or, you know, they just do what needs to do to make money. That's all. Yeah. So I think it's a travesty what they're doing with the Blade story. I think what they need to do is keep it simple. Go back, you know, whatever it is Marvel's doing right now, it's not working. It hasn't been working. You know, they need to just go back and do what works. So hopefully they fix their shit soon. I mean, I'd like a Blade movie. I don't know why I need one this late in the game, but yeah, we'll see what happens. So dealing with that, we're going to jump into another part of the conversation that really got me thinking this past week. Nico, are you familiar with Captain America New World Order? Or what is it? Brave New World? Oh, Nico, can you hear me? Uh-oh. I think Nico got cut. Let me see. Let me message him real quick, and then I will see. Let me see. Did it drop? Did it drop the call? me ask him real quick just to see. Um, yeah, Nico's out. Oh, but yeah, like what I was saying right now, folks. He'll probably jump back in right now. So just give it a little bit of a minute. Let me fix my camera so I don't look like a weirdo. There we go. So on to the next part of the conversation. It's going to be yeah. So this past week there was something that interesting dropped that caught my eye that I was really really interested in. Of course, we have Captain America: Brave New World that's going to be coming out, which is hey, here we go. Welcome back, Mr. Nico.
Oh, dude, I have no fucking clue what the fuck just happened.
It's all good, man. It's all good. We're about to jump into the next part. We were talking about if I asked you if you had heard, of course, about Captain America: Brave New World.
No, I haven't.
Which is that's the new MCU film that's going to be coming out, starring Anthony Mackie, who's going to be playing, of course, Captain America. Going into Harrison Ford's going to be playing Thunderbolt Ross. Apparently, there's going to have some introductions with, the Thunderbolts and like all of this other stuff. But are you familiar with this story or no?
No, I'm not.
So, well, just through and through, what I believe this story is going to be about is it's going to be the Captain Hydra story, which is, of course, from the comic books where Captain America ends up being changed into a Hydra agent, right?
Oh, wait. You referred to this sometime back. It kind of going back to what was it? Where he's in the elevator with, and he's like, "Oh, hell,
Yes.
Hydra."
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
I got you. Yeah.
So in the comic book, what happens is Kobik, which is the entity that is a fragmented cube that Shield makes, saves old man Captain America and makes him young again, but he changes his history into being a Hydra agent. So now we have Captain America, who is a Hail Hydra guy. In the movies, we never got that, but what we do is we get Captain America playing a Hydra agent, playing it off so he can acquire the scepter. And then later on, the scepter is end up being used against the younger variation of himself, which nothing happens to him in the universe. I'll explain that in a little bit. So I'll tell you how the timeline changes really crazy in the MCU. But Captain America himself ends up touching his chest and ends up telling him like, oh, Bucky's alive. He freaks out. But right before that, he had a conversation with the telecom telling that team in the elevator of Hydra agents and Shield members, Hydra Shield members, that he, of course, knowing that now all of them know he's a Hydra agent in disguise, that he's injured and they have to go save him. So they're all going to show up. They're going to grab the younger version of Captain America and take him to a Hydra doctor to fix him because he's a Hydra agent. That gives you explanation as to the Winter Soldier movie when that one politician guy is like, ooh, I hurt my back and I got a date with a girl. Do you think I should go get it checked? And he's like, yeah, we'll get someone to look at you because they keep it amongst themselves. So a Hydra agent politician that's a high-end person is going to go see a Hydra doctor to go fix his back. You know what I mean? Because that's the health-wise that they need protected and all that other stuff. So Captain America, the younger one's going to be taken that way. He'll end up being Captain America, the Hydra agent. And I think Falcon's going to fight him because I think through and through is going to be a great thing because that's his mentor. And then from his mentor getting the shield, now he ends up seeing that in this universe, there is two Captain Americas, one of them that's old, that's displaced in history, and then two, the younger one that stayed in that universe.
Yeah.
But now there is no Thanos that ends up going to collect all the stones. That means you never get a Ronin story with the Guardians of the Galaxy. So Ronin's still going to be alive. Anything past that storyline where Thanos calls on what, Loki, everything past that, there is no Thanos. Or actually Guardians of the Galaxy. So even before that, there's just no Thanos to ruin the universe. So in that process, everything you can kind of like break through that, everything changes from there. So like Captain America never went back in time because they didn't have a reason to. You may have an Iron Man because they never had no one to save because he never dies at the hands of Thanos in that universe. You know what I mean?
Okay, so if they do that, and in a sense, they're gonna let's say if you go that route, you're gonna refresh the entire timeline.
They already did. It's already done.
So in a sense, do you think they're gonna bring some of the OGs back, or do you think that's it, they're done?
I think they have to. I think, but it has to be for a reason. So like in Brave New World, like you don't have a reason to have Tony Stark, Iron Man come back.
But do you okay? But in the aspect of like these actors, do you think they're officially done with their characters,
No, no,
or do
no,
you
because none
think?
of them are doing anything. None of them are acting. None of them got anything going on.
Yeah, because oh my god, I know Robert did that stupid Atomic Bomb movie or whatever it was called.
Yeah, I mean that one did all right. I mean it did pretty good. I mean it's a good artistic film with Christopher Nolan. I forgot what is it, Oppenheimer.
Yeah, there you
Yeah,
go.
Oppenheimer. But it, that's already done. He'll just be up for an award, and I think it already went up and it lost. Like I think he ended up losing the award for best like actor or supporting role or whatever. But like that's it. Like what else is he doing? What else is Chris Evans doing? What else is any of them doing?
Because that yeah, because that's the thing though. Like if you were to refresh, or like you said, they already have. So if they refresh it, I'm telling you, man, I think we're so grained and seeing these people play these characters, kind of going back to what the other guy said, that every time he sees a Deadpool,
Ryan Reynolds.
yeah, he sees Ryan Reynolds, he thinks of Deadpool now. So
Yep.
it's like, it, every time we think of Iron Man, we think of Robert Downey Jr.
Yes.
We think of Chris Evans, Captain America. So it's one of those things where it's going to be very hard to replace them unless they're going to come up with a whole different strategy and like, oh, these are the new Avengers, and then they bring out like a whole nother casting, a whole nother group, you know.
Well, I mean, we do know that Chris Evans already signed back to come back on film as Captain
But
America.
okay, but is it for one or like a one-off?
I don't know. More than likely, it probably will be because he said he would only come back um, if it was something interesting to do with the character. And I think the most interesting thing that you could do with Captain America was the most interesting thing that they did in the comic
Hell
books was
Hydra.
they made him a Hell Hydra character. They made him a Hydra
Yeah.
character. That was like for a lot of people, they said that was stupid for them to do. But I challenge them, of course, and say, well, what is it before that was so interesting about Captain America that they were using it for? They were literally using it in Pleasantville, and Pleasantville was like a really shit series for a bit.
But that's the thing though. But that's the thing. Like you have to refresh these characters. You can't if you give us the same fucking character, it gets very stagnant, very very stale.
Very easy.
It's I know it's a stupid reference, but it is a little reference. Kind of like Hulk Hogan in wrestling.
Okay.
You saw him as a red and yellow and all this, the American hero. All of a sudden he goes NWO. Now he's a villain. Now he's a bad guy. He's a heel. But it was refreshing. It was something new, and it was a twist. Exactly. So it would be the same thing for the Captain America, the true hero, and then all of a sudden now he's a Hell Hydra agent. Like that would be perfect, bro.
I mean, imagine. I mean, if people think that that's a weird way to take it, which I think they'll 100% go with the Hell Hydra story. Look at what they did with U.S. Agent. Everybody hated the fuck out of U.S. Agent in the fucking Falcon and Winter Soldier show.
Yeah.
Everybody just despised him, and he did really good. I mean, he did his role. I mean, he wasn't like a stupid ass character at the beginning. Like he was out there telling people, like, "Hey, you know what, dude? Like, I did my shit too, man. Like, why aren't you respecting me either?" And Bucky would be like, "Cause you ain't him, buddy. Like, that's just what it is, and you don't understand it. You're a soldier, we get it, but like you're like an asshole soldier. You're like a dude who doesn't mind killing. You don't really have like the Captain America moral stature." And that's the thing. I think it's a great take on the idea of them saying, you know what, like we saw in that TV show too, where one of them was they were saying that Captain America was on the moon. And then the other one was, of course, U.S. Agent, but they never explained that there's a younger Captain America, which they could use U.S. Agent, but you already have that set up well. And the thing is like what's the old one or the forbidden one or what's her name from Doctor Strange? The ancient one, right?
Yeah.
She comes out and says that when you change something in the past, that changes the future. If you're on that timeline, if you're in a multiverse, it doesn't. The multiverse is already different, but when you do something differently in the timeline, and that's why Bruce Banner says, "Oh, well, what if we come back and leave the stones at like every point, like where they were? If then that would never change." And it's like, oh yeah, I guess that's a loophole, but that would have been the thing is Captain America would have gone back and done all of that shit, and then gone back in time, and he displaced himself. Yeah. Which means like everything is just the same, minus the fact that Thanos from that timeline, not a multiverse, that timeline came from the Guardian of the Galaxy timeline, his time period into the future, and then gets fucking killed. Like, so there is no Thanos. So everything that he did, Ronan the Accuser, going around collecting the stones, decimating Nova, like, or decimating Xandar, and all that shit never happened. Killing half of the Asgardians never happened. Like, all of that shit is now completely, utterly different.
It's something to look back on, and obviously we're all shocked when we first saw it, and it now if they do this, the Hell Hydra storyline, it fits not just the way they played it, but now it actually makes sense even more because what is it, Age of Ultron, where they're trying to lift the hammer, and then it just kind of like slowly shrieks a little bit, and you're like, holy shit, like there's a potential this motherfucker can actually lift this shit.
Well, he could have lifted it already. He just chose not to. Yeah, like he
so
didn't want
it's
to.
one of those like
in that stature.
for the what is it, the good guy, the Boy Scout of the team to go like to go bad guy now. Like it's one of those where it's like holy shit. Like I don't know.
What's even more fucking crazy is like I give flowers to that series in the comic books because even when he becomes a Hydra agent, he still lifts the hammer. Yeah, Lady Thor drops his hammer and like they're fighting like in Washington or something. And he goes up and says, "Look, I know you guys may think that I'm wrong because I am Hydra, but if I was wrong, could I do this?" And he grabs the hammer and lifts it up, and everyone freaks the fuck out. Like everyone stops fighting because they don't know how to explain but it's just like his stature on how well he stands on business. Yo, what's up, Iris? Good to see you. Like it's how he stands on business that makes him such a powerhouse when it comes to being a villain. I think it's the greatest thing. So like, of course, I don't think we're going to have it like the way it was in the comic books. I think it's going to be a lot different, but it's going to be correlating close to that. You'll have the young Captain America being a Hydra agent. You'll have, instead of Rick, I think it's like Rick Flag or something like that. There's several other characters that are in this that are important, of course, like Sharon Carter at the time. Steve Rogers, of course. Like it's very hard to say like who's going to be the hero, but it's good because you have Falcon. Like I said, if he has to fight his mentor and evil version, that makes him like stand up to like, the icon that Captain America was. And then you see like this downfall of this character that he's kind of like portraying as this like main thing. And then later on, like it gets really weird in the series because Bucky ends up going into like this cosmic world inside the cube. And in the cube, Kobik, which is the embodiment of the cube in human form, saved the consciousness of Steve Rogers in there. So when Bucky gets out, he pulls the consciousness out with it, and it has the old school Captain America with the dragon scale armor. Yeah. Like it has that version of the armor, and he's fighting the Hydra Captain America. And then and it's crazy because like the consciousness ends up winning, which is ideally what you expect Captain America to be. But the Hydra Captain America is the real life Captain America who's just an evil villain in the comic books right now. Damn. Like he's just a villain. Like you don't have a real Captain America. He's like a fake version of him, a clone or whatever. It's super crazy, man. Hydra Cap versus Captain America. Let's see if I can find this. Yeah, it was super crazy. Yeah, it's right here. I'll show you guys a little picture. I'll just show it. But I think this would be like the best story that you could do with Captain America. Minus that's Captain Hydra. Oh yeah, here he is right here. Actually, I got it. There he is coming out at him already. Like it's the Captain America conscious versus Hydra Captain and Iron Man outfit.
Dude, so, that is crazy.
That's awesome, dude. That's like the old school, and they fight it out, dude. They beat the crap out of each other. Let's see if I can open this. I don't think it'll show. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, so you have Cap here with his green outfit, the Hydra costume or whatever. But instead of Captain America, this one, you have it Sam Wilson. Or even, in fact, you can find a way to bring in the old man Captain America and then de-age him and have him fight the young Captain America and be Captain America again. But again, like you said,
I don't know about de-aging him. I don't know about that one.
Well, that's what they do in this story. But like, I agree with you. Like, I don't think Chris Evans comes back to do another 28 films or whatever. I really think it's like a one and done. So if he allows Captain Falcon, Sam Wilson to do this position, then I think it works. Like there's a part of me that thinks it works fairly well. So
All right.
yeah, that's something I'm
Real quick, another hardcore left turn. Hey, Iris, what market did you just come from?
market.
Yeah, if she
Look,
put.
he even has Thor's hammer. How cool! This is such a great storyline. Like I know a lot of people. It's super crazy how many people shit on it because they were like, "Of course, Marvel would make Captain America a Nazi and all this other stuff." But again, like, what do you do? Like, I'll ask. Oh, the McCallum Boys and Girls Club. How cool! Excellent. Like, let me ask you: if you were a storyteller for this character, don't you think making him a Nazi in some weird way would be like the ultimate story that you would like save in the pocket for like, we don't got any other ideas.
Yeah, of
Like, 'cause
course.
there's a million other heroes that are doing a million other things. Because it's like everyone, you ask anyone what Captain America is good for in the comic books, and what do they tell you? That he's just good at rallying the troops. He's just good at bringing all the superheroes together. Other than that, he can't perform with Thor. You know, he can't perform up there with like the Hulk. He's a dude with a shield that can run fast and jump higher than most dudes. But that's as far as that goes, no?
Well, yeah, but he does. What's that word for it? Like when you're good teaming up with somebody. Like if you team him up with Iron Man, the abilities that they have together, like if Iron Man uses his fucking like the stupid ray that he has on his chest,
Oh yeah,
if
the
he
when he
blows it off,
blasted from his shield.
yeah, and then he blasted off the shield. Like there's little things like that. Like it's like little combos that they can pull off. He can
But okay,
actually go
so
for it.
he's good at he's a good sidekick. That's fucking funny. No, well, like even that. Okay, so yeah, he could bounce things off of it, but that doesn't magnify the laser nor make it stronger. That's just him like changing the direction of it.
Well, no. But what I'm trying to say is that it depends on who you combine him with, that they can pull off some good little combo moves on it.
I think
Okay,
strategics. I think with strategics, he's good. He's like Batman.
you
Like
know.
he's good. Like, but other than that, like on the battlefield, like if you put him in a fight with Thanos, what happens?
Oh yeah, of course.
He gets his shit pushed in. Like that's just what it is, you know. But that's pretty much almost every superhero if you think about it. So like on the huge entries, like Captain America really doesn't play the battlefield too well. Like I said, he's good for prep time, and he's good as a motivational speaker to get you to want to go kill yourself for the cause. Like man, will he rally the troops, bro? Man, he got a bunch of those motherfuckers that go against Iron Man during Civil War, didn't he?
Yeah, that's true.
They just followed him just because of the blue, white, and red shit. You know what I mean? Like him just left in his shield. I would have followed his ass too, man. You know what I mean? I would have been like, man, dude, you're not wrong. God damn it, he's so cool or whatever. I would have followed his ass too, man.
Oh, just out of curiosity, were you Team Cap or were you Iron Man?
Cap. Yeah, dude. Captain could have told me Starbucks sucks and I'd never buy Starbucks again. Like that dude's just never wrong in my life, dude. I love Captain America. You know, in this situation during the Hell Hydra thing, when he takes over the world and he becomes like the grand supreme leader, and he's there, I was like, well, I mean, Hydra doesn't seem that bad, right? Like, I mean,
Wow.
right?
Wow.
He was
Holy
like, oh,
shit.
man. But it's super crazy when you read the comic, like the way it's portrayed. He even kills a Red Skull. Like Captain America, Hell Hydra, the Hydra agent kills a Red Skull, even though the Red Skull was the leader. You know what I mean?
The betrayal of Tony's face.
The betrayal of Tony's face fucked me. I don't, well, no, because, you know, Tony did do a lot of bad stuff during Civil War. For Nitro to kill all the kids and all that stuff, and then you find out that it was Tony that orchestrated most of it. And then him hiring a bunch of villains as his goons to take in all the other superheroes. And like, you know, you start to realize that, you know, Iron Man's kind of a dick, like a real big dick. And he'll go to any cause necessary to do it. I didn't see anything bad.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But you know, the thing is it's not, that story wasn't cut and dry. That's why both characters are wrong in both sense. Like Captain America was wrong
because we're seeing Iris's true colors now.
That's like the that's super funny, but that's the whole thing of like the Watchmen story too. When the Watchmen, the superhero act and all that other stuff, that's 100% what the superhero act was about in the comic books too. The what are they called? The Sokovian Accords or whatever they said. The Sokovian Accords. Yeah, but yeah, I was Team Captain America. I think they would have needed something more secure to help the heroes out rather than get them all to be a part of a database that anyone could hack and then everyone knows your secret identity. I think Spider-Man suffered from it the worst. Like if you guys go back, so you'd have to go back and read what I'm talking about. But Spider-Man suffered from Tony Stark's morals and statures on what he stood on when it came to the law. But speaking of the Marvel Universe, something about Brave New World that caught my eye this past week, which is something that we were supposed to be talking about, but we totally got off subject, which I guess we could probably leave this for maybe the last conversation because this gives us a good talking point. Giancarlo Esposito has joined the MCU, and he'll be coming out in this film. But who do you think he's going to be? So first off, Giancarlo Esposito, what do you think about Giancarlo joining the MCU?
Hold on.
Go for
Give me
it.
a second. No.
Yeah, so I'll make sure I bring up a picture of Mr. Giancarlo so we all know. Which is blah, 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 blah. Here we go. Bang, bang, bang. Boom.
You got it?
The man, the myth, the legend. So it's this man, Giancarlo.
Yeah, from Breaking Bad.
Mm-hmm. So he actually not even too far away. He was at South Texas Comic Con this past year. So he was in here doing some cool stuff.
Yeah,
so.
that's true.
Yeah, he was in here. So that means, he was already in talks to be in the Marvel Universe at that time. So shout out to Ramsey Ramirez, the man, the myth, the legend. Thank you for
Okay, so just out of curiosity, what do you know what he's supposed to play? Or what he's supposed to be doing?
No, so right now it's very hush-hush. Very, very hush-hush. But the rumor is he'll be in Brave New World. And then later with his role, he'll end up getting a series of his own. So this puts into perspective a lot of stuff, because this man is no mere mortal. You know what I mean? He is a titan when it comes to acting. So for him to be in the MCU in some way, like they have to give him like a role. Like you're going to want to take this man as far as you can, because when he touches the microphone and he gets in front of a camera, like he takes over everything. So he's been in a lot of stuff. He's been rumored to be in Brave New World, which is the film that we have. That's Captain Falcon in the back right there in the back. Well, not Captain Falcon, Captain America as the Falcon, Anthony Mackie. Let me ask you and anyone out in the comment section, what character fan-wise do you feel would be a great role for Giancarlo to be?
I'm not gonna lie. This one's a little it's a little hard, bro. Because shit. Fuck.
This goes out. Anyone in the comment section too, if you're out there. I wouldn't mind hearing your post on this. Last week, I believe we talked about who was it that was in it? It was John Malkovich. John Malkovich was the other actor that was apparently in talks to be in the Marvel Universe. I believe now he's
you, me, and Brian talked about that.
Brian, we're talking about this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so right now he's in talks to be in the Marvel Universe also. And I gave my opinion on who I feel like he could be, which is I think he's going to be the Molecule Man.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, Molecule Man. I 100% think he's going to be the Molecule Man. I'll bring this up here. So close that out. And we have him and Giancarlo. So these two characters have been talked about coming out in the next couple of months, which both of them, again, huge fucking heavy hitters in the acting world. John Malkovich, I mean, probably one of the greatest actors of our times. And Giancarlo Esposito also. So Iris says really any villain. And you're not wrong. He just does dark personas very well. And the same thing with John Malkovich.
I'm telling you, dude. John, the only role that is Con Air, bro. That's the one that pops in my head.
Yeah, for this guy right here. John Malkovich. Boom, zoom in. So for John Malkovich,
was it Cyrus the Virus?
Cyrus the Virus. Owen Reese, Marvel. So my choice was Owen Reese, the Molecule Man, based on like just the pictures that have been around him for years. He's always been this like older gentleman, not young. Like I'm gonna take this and put it here. Yeah, so I'll make that smaller. So with this man right here, I
Okay.
100% these two are gonna be the same dude. I think that's 100% who we're getting him as. The Molecule Man. I think he's one of the greatest villains in the Fantastic Four. I think he'll be this guy. But Giancarlo, he plays like a considerate role. So there have been several people voicing for him for Magneto. Magneto. Why did they give me? Where's the MCU, man? Get out of here. Magneto, of course, has been one of the talking points for this character. What about you? What do you think for a Magneto role? Yep.
I can kind of see it.
Yeah. Of course, there's always like the talks of like gender role switching characters, and with this, the easiest question I would ask is, Magneto is a character who was a survivor of the Holocaust. I don't know. I don't really remember
The
or know.
okay,
I mean, historically,
okay, real quick, right there where the mouse is at,
yes,
is that the guy from Django?
yeah, it is the dentist or whatever the assassin guy.
Yeah, dude, that guy is fucking amazing. I like him.
Yeah, he's a great actor too, man. And of course, these are all people, 9 actors who would play Magneto, right? So like Giancarlo's name, see, like even right here, he's been, talked about for a Magneto role, maybe. They've talked about him for a Charles Xavier role, maybe. Um, what do you think?
I honestly, I can kind of see it because the way he's dressed there kind of gives me what is it, the Mandalorian
The
vibes?
Mandalorian, yeah. That's probably where they got that photo from.
Yeah, so it kind of gives me that vibes, like
For me, I have another choice for this, and I think I'm
which would
kind
be
of
what.
like, for me, I think the role that I feel, because of the story that we're getting in this and the possibility of him getting his own universe or his own series, uh I think Red Skull. Like Red Skull is like, what's his name? Hugo Weaving. He's dropped out of the role a long time ago. The Red Skull leaves the universe or the galaxy and lands on Dathomir, or that one planet in the Marvel universe, who is kind of like this agent of death. He's wearing like a big cloak and all
Yeah,
this other stuff. But
and you can't see John playing that one, the Red
which
Skull.
one?
John
What John?
Malkovich.
Oh, John Malkovich. No, like I don't see him playing the Red Skull. The thing about it is, synonymously, the Red Skull is supposed to be as athletic, if not just a little bit less than Captain America. So like they kind of forcefully try to make him the same age as Captain America, and during that time he's older, of course, because Captain America's been de-aged. But you go to Red Skull in what is it called? Not Secret. Is it Secret Invasion? No. What is it? I'm gonna say Captain Hydra, Captain America Hydra. So like during this series, oh, this is a movie, but I don't want that Captain Hydra comic. I can't remember the comic book, the comic line. Yeah, he's like this in that part of the comic book. He's fairly like, and this is, of course, what's even crazier is this is during the time that he has Charles Xavier's brain in his head. So like, yeah. Oh, are you watching what he's eating, or what? Is that making you laugh?
No. I'm over here reading Iris's fucking comment.
Oh, what did she put? I don't even know what she put. She put not Iris the Virus, LOL. His character was Cyrus the Virus. I was like, how they know my gamer tag? That's funny. It's a great gamer tag if that's your gamer tag. But yeah, and the other reason why I think the Red Skull would be a really good choose for him is the Red Skull character does not have an actor anymore. And the Red Skull is a character that portrays heavily in the Secret Wars comic book storyline. He ends up surviving in the zombie apocalypse area during that. Look, that's where he takes Xavier's brain. That's crazy. Then he ends up getting telepathy.
Yeah.
And then he hates it. And then he fucking hates it. And then of course you have, Red Skull versus Baron Zemo, and they're fighting for the main title. Of course, Captain America, the Hydra version, comes in and kills Red Skull later on in the comic. But yeah, and then you're gonna make him prominently in the Peggy Carter story. There's just so many parts that this character can come in and play a normal ground level factor. Yeah. Plus, again, like my biggest concern for the Captain America Falcon storyline was like he didn't really fight many villains. He just fought racism, which it's like, hey, bro, like you want to give him a superhero job, give him a superhero skill, like give him superhero villains. Don't just make it fight people because he's black. Like that's not going to sell comic books. You know what I mean? So like that was like my biggest thing is I thought, with the demographic of Anthony Mackie coming in and reinvigorating the Captain Falcon character, a lot of people grew back to love this character, and it was an original black character. Like for them to go off and make him Captain America because they believe he couldn't sell comics with the Falcon name. Like I was really disappointed in Marvel for doing that.
All right. Okay, Chris, I don't mean to cut you off, bro, but I have to, what the hell? I have to bounce. This thing is freezing. It's
freaking
what happened,
out.
Dude? It's like lagging. Hold on. There we go. Okay. Dude, yeah, this thing froze on me like several times while you were talking. I was like, oh shit.
Oh no. Is it pretty bad or what?
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what. Let's just get this really quick. Your fan pick for Giancarlo Esposito for joining the MCU, what would it be?
Okay, depending on how his character is, and Iris nailed it pretty good. He does have like a fucking dark fucking aura to him in a sense, especially the characters that he portrays. So if you're going to do the Red Skull, I could kind of see it. I could kind of see where you're coming with that one. But to be honest with you, I'm not going to lie, dude. I'm drawing a blank right now because
it's a hard role, right?
It is a hard role.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, your expectations for this guy, you've seen him play other characters, and you're trying to think of other villains that he can do. But the thing is, I don't know exactly how the fuck they're going to use this guy. Like John, honestly, I'm more excited to have John in there because I can kind of see him, like I said, because I'm stuck with that fucking character, Cyrus the Virus. That's, like, I don't know what it is. That fucking character just stuck with me this entire time.
As a matter of fact, look, this just broke right now. So, I mean, you're here right now, but look, they just released a picture of him. That's it right there. This is the character he's, which, I mean, that's not a big picture, but I mean, this is the character he's supposed to be betraying in Brave New World. I don't know who that is.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I don't know who that is. Three knives. Some type of like, it looks like a pistol or a shotgun. But that's him. This is like literally, this was his like stunt double that they were talking about recently, which I was going to bring up right now. But this is like 100% what one of the guys, Stryker? Yo, that's pretty crazy. But yeah, this is 100% what they had said was the description of the guy. 3 knives on the chest and an axe or something. But that's him. Yeah, look.
Holy shit.
That just broke like literally today, like right now, on what it was. Everybody was wondering what his character was going to look like. And there was a guy, I forgot who, but released to a bunch of like sites that was like, yeah, and he drew a fucking, you should have seen the picture. It was like stick figure. Like, oh, he's got a knife on his chest and he's got an axe and all this other stuff. so yeah, I know 100% that's
dude, that looks freaking cool.
Yeah, he looks very much like the Boondock Saints, the dad with his cool ass with the guns. Remember all the fucking pistol holsters? That was super cool. Yeah, hold up, let me get a magnifying glass. Yeah, no kidding. So I don't know who this is. I 100% don't know this. You know who I actually thought they were going to choose him for? What's up, Mark? Good to see you, man. The Chew a New podcast up in the comment section. Good to see you guys. Right now we're talking about Giancarlo Esposito joins the MCU, who he's going to be. And as we were doing this, a picture just dropped on set of his character wearing his costume. So this is who Giancarlo is supposed to be in the film. We don't know who I don't know who it is off the top of my head. I can't really, but someone said Strider, which is a guy that's part of the Weapon X program. Like, maybe? What do you think? I don't even know. Are you still there, Nico? Oh, Nico's already gone. My man. Thank you, Nico, for jumping in. Appreciate you, bro. But yeah, this is it right here. We got a drop of the new picture of Giancarlo. Okay, thank you very much, Iris, for jumping on. I don't know who this is. This is a great photo they just released. Exciting. But the rumor was, which is crazy, is that he could be Harry Osborn. Or Norman Osborn, my bad, the father of Harry Osborn from the Spider-Man series, being that they wanted to introduce him in the Spider-Man animated series that they want to reproduce, which is the classroom one. And we don't have an Osborn family in the MCU yet. And during this time in the comic books, another popular series was called Siege and the Dark Avengers, who were all controlled by Norman Osborn, who had the Iron Patriot suit. If we get that, I think that would be pretty dope. If Giancarlo was going to play Norman Osborn, I think that would be a great role for him also. But yeah, here you go, guys. This is our first picture on set of this character on who he is portraying, which off the top of my head, I don't have any idea. But yeah, what do you guys think? If you guys are watching, let me know. Who do you think his character could be? Make sure you guys let us know during the week. Yeah, send us a DM. Let us know a list of everybody you think that Giancarlo could be playing in the MCU and who would you like him to play. Guys, I would like to say thank you. Nico, if you're out there, I don't know if you're going to come back on, but I appreciate you, my man. Thank you for jumping in. Guys, if you want to find Nico Cantu on Facebook, one of the homies. He's always in here helping us out and being a part of the show. David didn't get to do a podcast, or I think he's going to we're going to hopefully bring him on the couple of weeks, maybe when he gets this situated in his schedule. But yeah, I'd like to say thank you for everybody that tuned in on the show today. We appreciate every one of you, of course. Thank you for all of those that always support us. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys. So thank you to all our extraordinary listeners. We appreciate every one of you. I'll see you guys again here next Sunday on the Average Boys podcast. Hope you have a good week. Work hard, and we'll see you guys again. Laters.